I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you would already know that the title of the program tonight is Evenly Divided, but it's based on a fabulous full moon that we had at 14 degrees of Pisces yesterday. And Pisces is a double-bodied, mutable sign, and it rules things behind the scenes and all areas of confinement, and it also rules the things that we've been kidding ourselves about or wanting to escape from or can be in denial about. So there are those things to consider. Pisces also rules dreams, and we know that under a full moon, the moon opposes the sun. But there's more than that going on, because the full moon in Pisces is conjuncting the ruler of the sign, Neptune, because the full moon is at 14 degrees and Neptune is at 13 degrees, but it is retrograde, and indicating that more secrets can be revealed, or cover-ups can be exposed, or imposters can be exposed right now, and particularly since there's so much light in Pisces with the full moon there. But there's the reason why people can be evenly divided is because the full moon and Neptune in Pisces are being opposed by the sun, and now Mars is in Virgo. And you know, Mars is sort of an aggressive, no-nonsense planet, and Virgo rules facts. And Pisces rules dreams, but the opposite of that is having to pay close attention to details and face reality. And that is what is making people evenly divided right now, because it's not that two sides of an argument do not have valid points on both sides. They do. It is simply that they are refusing to budge. And the reason why is that there is a fifth planet in a mutable sign, and it is Saturn in Sagittarius, which is direct, and it is squaring Mars and the Sun in Virgo. And Mars and Saturn are two malefic planets. They're up to no good when they're in harsh aspect to each other. And so that means that harsh facts have to be faced, and there's no way around it. But at the same time, Saturn is squaring the full moon and Neptune in Pisces. So people who can be dreaming dreams right now and are coming up against other people who are saying, no matter what your dream is, harsh facts must be faced. And if you are somewhat evenly divided and you each have valid points, then nobody's winning right now, because nobody is willing to adapt their viewpoints in order to reach consensus. So the best you can do right now under these aspects is to agree to disagree, because I think that is where people are. They're just not ready or willing to get together, and they both have, people have valid points right now. Each side of something has valid points to it. And so because Saturn is so well aspected in a grand trine in fire signs, it's being trined by Uranus in Aries and by Mercury, which retrograded, and it went back into Leo and joined Venus in Leo. So those two planets are trining Saturn as well. Mercury is direct now, but because it went back into Leo, it is now actually at the exact point where the solar eclipse was. Mercury is at 29 degrees of Leo. So some form of communication or thinking has got to get straightened out, and it probably will. And it might be by adhering more to traditional long-term values. And that is what it means when Venus and Saturn trine each other. And Sagittarius rules the courts. So if people are vehement on both sides, stressing their valid viewpoints, and they really won't reach consensus, it might be up to the courts to decide what to do about their viewpoints. So it could come down to that. But actually, behind the scenes, there can be some negotiation or even perhaps a reconciliation in a benign way that can be going on rather quietly. And that is because today, the Sun in Virgo is at 14 degrees, and it is in perfect alignment and exactly sextile Venus in Leo, also at 14 degrees. And Venus is a peace-loving planet, and it does rule the law. And so with the Sun in perfect alignment to Venus today, there is the possibility that behind the scenes, people can be softening their attitudes a little bit at least. So will an impasse ever end? Will things get beyond agreeing to disagree? Yes, I think they will. And in fact, I think an impasse can end a little more quickly than people realize. And that is because that grand trine in fire signs is so strong, and fire signs are energetic. They like action. And so Venus and Mercury at the 29th degree of Leo are trining Saturn, which is direct in Sagittarius, and together those three planets are trining Uranus, which is retrograde in Aries, meaning that one way to get something settled is to think of some unique new way to get something underway or started that had previously been stalled. Okay, so that could get the ball rolling. And there's a lot of people with enough energy that want to devote themselves to doing that, to get something going. Not everyone likes to be in a standoff or evenly divided. Another reason why an impasse can end is because the Sun and Mars in Virgo are trining Pluto in Capricorn. Mars and Pluto are the rulers of Scorpio, and Scorpio is a fixed financial sign ruling financing, credit, debt, taxes, inheritance, insurance proceeds, loans, or money coming in from any other source. And since the rulers of Scorpio are in very good aspect to each other right now, and so is the Sun is trining Pluto, it is an indication that practical necessity, or just looking at budgets, can finally force people who each have valid viewpoints to reach some sort of consensus or agreement. And that is because you can't do more than what your budget allows. I mean, if there's not enough money there, you can't spend what you don't have. And so practical necessity can bring everyone down to earth a little bit more, and they can be a little bit more agreeable to solving a problem. So this is a time when if you have something that you want to do, it may take you a little longer to accomplish the whole thing. And that is because you are going to have to just take one affordable step at a time. And so you've got to shrink your plans down to fit your budget, and that's why if you pay for something and that step is completed and then you get enough money to pay for the next step, it may take you a little longer, but you can still succeed. All right, what does this idea of being evenly divided mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, for you, I think that you're going to be, since there is a grand trine in fire signs and yours is a fire sign, you are going to be swept up in something new, or you'll be encouraged by other people who are very enthusiastic and want to get something off the ground and maybe start over and sort of do it better this time. And so I think that you will almost have to do that, Aries, because other people are pushing you toward that as well. But Uranus is a planet of rebellion as well. And so you may decide you've had enough and you want to go in a new direction. Well, actually, you could. And there are some indications that not everyone is going to agree on things. Some people will be moving on, and it might be you as well, Aries, because either you or somebody very nice who is a partner, one of you is going to be moving on, and that's because Jupiter is opposing Uranus in your sun sign, and it's coming to the end of its stay in Libra, and so somebody's going to have to decide to move on, because being evenly divided doesn't get anybody anywhere. And that is why, for one reason or another, we've got to sort of reshuffle the deck and find some area of agreement. And I think it will all come down to money, to budgets. And so either you can decide to stay and be swept up in some hectic new endeavor, or you can decide you've had enough and go your own way. Either way, I think you'll be successful in getting something new underway, either for yourself or others. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, This is a time when you certainly do benefit by the fact that the Sun and Mars in Virgo are trining your Sun, and Pluto in Capricorn is also trining your Sun, because they are the rulers of the fixed sign Scorpio, and they are in very good aspect, meaning that there can be some more money coming your way, Taurus, because yours is the other fixed financial sign. There's only two of them. And so it looks to me like if there is somebody that owes you money, they may decide to pay you back right about now, which would be great. Or because Venus and Mercury in Leo are squaring your Sun, and Venus is your own sun sign ruler, it can be an indication that you know, almost against your better judgment, you may be deciding to go ahead and provide well for a loved one, or to meet their needs, which can be rather expensive needs, but yours, you could be in a good position to find more money or to sell an investment in order to afford something that would either make yourself or someone else happy. Or it can be that you go for a new career choice, and that involves more money as well. So one way or another, I think it's headed your way. Congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, you do benefit from the fact that the Sun that Venus and Mercury, your own ruler, are in Leo, and they are sextiling your Sun. And then Uranus in Aries is also sextiling your Sun, and Jupiter in Libra is trining your Sun. So that simply means that as people get something new underway, or they just push something forward, you're going to be able probably to find an opening that would be to your liking, Gemini, which would be great, and you can get some good legal advice or friendly help from people as well. And so that's to the good. The other thing you have to look out for is all the people that can be challenging you right now. I urge you not to try to get in the middle of people who are evenly divided, but refusing, even though they do have valid viewpoints, refusing to compromise in any way. You could be feeling like compromise is the only answer, but they don't feel that way, and that is because the full moon and Neptune in Pisces are squaring your Sun. The Sun and Mars are squaring your Sun, which means you too have to look at harsh reality right now, and that could involve your health as well. And Saturn in Sagittarius is opposing your Sun sign. So there are 5 planets and a harsh T-cross in mutable signs causing you a little aggravation, Gemini, and that is why I think you need to sort of make new friends who are very energetic right now and want to get something new underway. And don't get bogged down in the controversies and challenges that are facing you now, because you won't get anywhere either that way. You won't make any progress. You'll get all tied up in knots that are made by other people. So don't do that. Just close your eyes and ears to controversy right now and look for a new opening that could please you more. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, you might decide you sort of want to jump in on something right now, and that's because Venus and Mercury are in Leo right ahead of your Sun sign, and so you may want to get involved with other people that want to initiate something new. They're very energetic and enthusiastic, and it could involve the things that Leo rules: children, love affairs, sports, gambling, being an entrepreneur, doing something creative, or being involved in the entertainment field in one way or another. But you can't be everywhere, Cancer. And so this full moon in Pisces, along with Neptune, which is trining your Sun beautifully, simply means that you were probably going to have to make a choice. And if I were you, Cancer, I would take the road less traveled, meaning go for what you really want to do, what your heart's desire is, what you've been dreaming about. Maybe you haven't been telling very many people about it, but you know what you'd rather be doing. And that is, I think you should pal up with some energetic people that can help propel you forward to make something, to help you do something that would make you much happier than where you are now. Because I think you've reached a point where you are dissatisfied and where you realize whatever you're doing now is not going to get any better. And so this is a time when you should go for sort of a private dream of your own if you can. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, with Venus and Mercury at the 29th degree in your sign, trining Uranus in Aries and Saturn, which is direct in Sagittarius right now, you can certainly be enthusiastic about getting something new underway, and perhaps it's something that you'd wanted to do before, but maybe the timing wasn't right, or maybe the money wasn't quite there, and that could still be a possibility. Maybe you'll have to scale back your plans to fit your budget. But I think you can get something off the ground, Leo, and that you really should go for it. Your sign has tremendous backing right now, and the best part of it all is that Venus in your sign is being trined beautifully by Saturn in Sagittarius. And that means your old friends can be a big help to you right now, or people who are very experienced can offer you good advice and guidance, which you would need in order to get something started in a sort of a unique way. And it could start rather suddenly as well. So I think that you should sort of join forces with other people right now. And if, since yours is a fixed sign, if you're feeling that you're evenly divided, that you have one viewpoint and other people don't understand it, I would try to find some middle ground right now, because that grand trine in fire signs isn't going to last, but it's doing you a lot of good right now, Leo, and that's why you should take advantage of it. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is a time when facing harsh reality is, you know, it may not be fun, but you know it's got to be done. And it can bring more money in. And for that reason, you may be instrumental in helping, by paying attention to details, in helping to find some funding that could get a project underway. And because practical necessity is going to break an impasse, in other words, people who are evenly divided can have valid viewpoints, but I mean, you can only go as far as your budget allows, and so they may decide to compromise a little bit and break that impasse and somehow bend their valid viewpoints to fit into practical reality right now. And that simply means that a lot of people have got to quit dreaming, that the dreams are having to face reality. And reality is requiring that things be affordable and that they be paid for, and it's sort of like pay as you go. You know that, Virgo. You could be working way too hard right now, and that could even be worrying you and making you a little sick. But actually, I think your budget is in good shape, and I think that you know, you can't be solving everyone's problem right now, because not everyone wants their problems solved. They're evenly divided. You need to wait until they wake up and face practical reality, and then you can come up with a lot of good answers to help them. But you can't do it for them if they don't want it done. And that's why you have to be a little bit patient. In September, you are going to have all the answers. Don't worry. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, this is a time when, with Jupiter in your sign, you of course can be optimistic, and you know, they say that when Jupiter is in a person's sun sign, they tend to overindulge a little bit and gain a little bit of weight. So this could be a time when you can be a little bit worried about your health, and that is because Mars has just entered the sign of health, Virgo, and it's right behind your sun sign, along with the sun. And so this is a time when you need to pay attention to the harsh facts or reality, and you really need to face them. And so there can be some gnawing problem in the background of your life that other people can see too, because the sun is also in Virgo, and it is being opposed by the full moon and Neptune in Pisces and squared by Saturn in Sagittarius. So even if you're very enthusiastic and in a peaceful mood, Libra, still there are problems that you have behind the scenes that need to be addressed. And you really cannot be in denial about them anymore. You'll just have to face them. They could be banking problems, or they could be problems that have to do with your job performance. There could be somebody who's rather jealous of you right now. Mars is a jealous planet. And so you're going to have to try to be extra tactful right now if you can. Turn on the charm. It'll do you some good. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, Your rulers, Mars and Pluto, along with Mars and the Sun in Virgo, are trining Pluto in Capricorn. And because your rulers are such in good aspect, that might indicate that there is some extra money coming your way, Scorpio. Or there could be an increase in credit, or there could be some inheritance coming in, or an ability to get a better loan, or some sort of insurance terms that are more favorable right now. Whatever it is, I think there is some more money coming your way, Scorpio, which is going to be great for you. You could use it. And I think that since the full moon and Neptune and Pisces are also trining your sun, there is an indication you could use that money on a dream of yours that you've really been working on. And so I don't think you're evenly divided with anybody, because I think whatever you really want to do, you have not been telling too many people about. You might have been saying, gee, I would do this if I just had the money. Well, there can be some money headed your way, Scorpio. And if it does come your way, remember, everyone is going to have to take a little longer to make things happen, because you can only do what your budget allows, and that means paying for things as you go, and that involves you as well, Scorpio. So very quietly, I think that you can begin to make progress, because there's going to be a little more financial backing right now for that. Congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Well, Sagittarius, this is a time when yours might be the deciding vote or deciding voice in bringing people together who are evenly divided and who each have valid viewpoints, okay? But they're not willing to concede anything. They're not willing to reach consensus on their own. And so with Saturn in your sign squaring the full moon and Neptune in Pisces and the Sun and Mars in Virgo, there are going to be some harsh facts that you need to face, Sagittarius, and they could pertain to a job or health. A health matter of yours, which you cannot be in denial about anymore. You should just face it. And I bet you it has a little something to do with pressure that you've been under recently, or that you are now undergoing. And so you could be caught right between people with big dreams and other people that are saying, wait a minute, we've got to face practical necessity and let that be our deciding factor. In the end, what's really going to happen is that people can agree to traditional values or standards that have been in place for a long time that you really understand. And that is why you may not be trying to convince one side or the other about their viewpoints, but you may be helping them seek a middle ground. And I think you're going to be pretty good at that, because there is a trine in the fire signs right now. So keep at it, Sagittarius. You're a little closer to a victory than you think. It just doesn't look like it at the moment, but you are closer. So keep going. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is a time when you can be really concentrating on health matters and banking matters. In other words, you might want to be really efficient or more cost-effective in your spending or in your investments. Or it may simply be that you want to pare your plans down to fit into a reduced budget, and therefore just achieve a little bit of a goal at a time. You know, just pay a little bit at a time towards something. And that would be a good idea, Capricorn, because the Sun and Mars in Virgo are trining your Sun. And so your focus may be on investments, or it may be on your long-term security. And you know, if you can sort of cut your costs in one area, that will just give you a little bit more money to do something else. And I think that's what you can be focused on now, money management. And you are very good at that, Capricorn, and you're going to live a long time. So that is why it is important to assure that your long-term security is in place and could possibly even increase. That's a good thing for you to focus on now. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is a time when I think that you are not going to be swept up in the group of people that enthusiastically want to get something off the ground, but instead you can be falling back a little bit and relying on very helpful partners and on people who can give you good legal advice. And it might be that you too want to start something new, but not with others. You might want to do it just on your own. Aquarius rules being independent, and Aquarians do like their freedom. And so you may be involved in some sort of a startup that didn't get off the ground at some other time, but it could now through the help of other friends of yours. But remember, we all have to let practical necessity guide us right now. And so if there's a way you could possibly sell an investment to help you get something started up, that would be a good idea. So you may be a little bit more on your own right now, Aquarius, but I think you like that. And as long as you've got friends backing you up, this is the time for you to go for it. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, the full moon yesterday was in your sign, conjuncting Neptune, and so you can be full of visionary dreams and hopes and wishes right now. And other people can see that you have a charitable soul and that you really want to do what is best for everybody. But you also have a wonderful ability not to face reality when you don't want to. And unfortunately, you can't get away from that right now. The Sun and Mars in Virgo are strongly opposing your sun sign, and Saturn in Sagittarius is squaring it. So dream time is over, Pisces, and what you've got to do is you really do have to face some harsh facts right now. They could be about your job performance or a goal that you have, a practical goal that you have, or they could be about a health habit of yours. If you're doing anything that is a little bit escapist or destructive, you'll have to stop that. And you will have to focus just on realistic facts and details, because some people who can be pressing you to do things their way, they do have a valid point. At least you'd be accomplishing something if you listen to them. And if you want to keep dreaming, dreams are wonderful, but they are a way of escaping, and we can't escape reality now, Pisces. So your sign is under duress, and there are no planets in the other water signs. You're a little bit on your own. So the sooner you wake up from the dream and face reality and realize it's going to take you a little longer to make your dreams come true, because you have to pay for them one step at a time. You can still do it, Pisces, but not by dreaming. You're going to have to just face facts and accept them right now, even if they are a little harsh. They'll help you on your pathway to success in the end if you do. All right, thanks for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show anytime you want by subscribing to it on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.